Hey everybody, John Hiley here with denttrainer.com. Just a quick message and a reminder. We're going to be having a live business coaching event this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on denttrainer.com. All of you Dent Trainer members will be getting an email with a special link, and we hope to see you there. So anyhow, we're going to be featuring business coach Tom Rubens from the Accountability Factor, and again, we hope to see you there. Enjoy the show.
Say, kids, what time is it? PDR tool time.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is John Hiley with PDR Tool Time, coming to you today with one of the last episodes we're going to have here with Mike Toledo before he heads off and takes a European trip. We got Vince D'Alessandro here and Daniel Grom, who is going to be heading off this episode here. But so what's happening, Mike? You're going to be out of here after today?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to be bouncing out, guys.
You leave tomorrow?
I leave tomorrow. Yeah. Out of LAX.
Nice.
So, LAX, and we have to hit Norway. I'm not a good flyer, though, man. I don't know. I'm going to have to either get drunk or...
You got some Valiums?
I don't know. No, that'll get you that, but...
Just don't make the news of, we had to stop the plane in...
New York.
Yeah, New York. Some dent guy got too drunk.
Hey, Mike, I think you should take some acid before you get on the plane.
Oh, you do that? No way.
Some mushrooms.
Yeah. No, I couldn't handle any of that. No.
Yeah, take a roofie.
Dude, I tell you what, I feel pretty relaxed today because first time I've already handed off my phone to my tech, and I haven't had to answer any emails or text messages or phones. I feel like something's wrong, you know? It's like,
Yeah, I found that the hard way. I tried to call you.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did?
Me
Yeah.
too.
You guys got my bat line number. I told you guys that.
The bat line's forwarded to the other number as well.
No, it's
Mhm.
not.
It was. I talked to John, your lead tech today.
No.
But anyways, moving on.
Wait. Now, we all got burner phones, right?
Yeah.
Of course. Don't be silly.
Code words, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. I'm seeing myself up close. You guys are freaking. I look hideous. I think it's the sun that's shining through my window, man.
We're trying this new system out. We're getting away from Skype. Skype sucks, so trying out this new system that Vince started off us on, and the picture is clear. Man, yeah, you do look old.
Nice.
Hey, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Lots of love in the room tonight. Lots of love.
All right, Daniel. So
I'm just jealous. I'm just jealous because he's going on a European vacation.
I know, on a cruise on top of it. Right?
Yeah.
Yep, going and cruise in the middle of it. Yep.
He's going to come back. He's going to weigh like an
So-
extra 30 pounds or something. He's going to be like 30 or 40 pounds. We'll be like, who ate, you ate Mike? Mike, are you in there?
Yeah.
This guy ate Mike.
You won't be able to bend over and fix a dent in the door. Oh.
Hey, what do you guys think about this idea? Why don't we have a PDR Tool Talk cruise? Get everybody go on the same cruise.
Oh, that'd
You'd
be
probably get
fantastic.
kicked off.
Yeah, we would, dude.
Yeah, it'd have to be a
Everybody
carnival.
kicked out of one hotel.
Especially if you start gluing down bottles to all the tables.
Yeah. Of course, that too. Or pulling fire alarms or running through the bar naked.
Yeah. Damn
Well,
it.
how was your fourth?
Fantastic. It's good.
Mine was
Good
good,
time.
man.
I'm still recovering from mine.
Nice. Yeah, I almost got hit by some mortars, and actually I did get hit by some mortars. A couple of the ones we let off about $1,000 worth of fireworks.
Now you get
the
the
other
real
night.
deal where you're at.
Yeah. These things. Well, I have to go to Indiana because Ohio it's illegal, so I got to go to Indiana and smuggle them back into Ohio. But we had some serious explosions, and some of them things, these giant mortars that they blow up just as big as like your hometown fireworks show. I mean, they are legit. And there was a couple of them that only shot like 10 feet in the air and exploded in front of us. I mean, I got hit in my leg with something, and it felt like I was kicked by a mule. And
Wow,
I have no
really?
idea what it was. It was just like foot. I was like, oh God.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They're illegal.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's funny.
You know what kind of fireworks we get to have where I live? You can't even have a sparkler.
Oh,
Same
you're
here.
Sparkler.
you're
No
like
sparkler.
that. You're like that Indian guy on Joe Dirt, who only sells snakes, like the little snakes that grow out of the ground, and the little poppers, and the
Yeah,
sparklers.
that's exactly all we get. And
Dude,
then we get
snakes are the best.
the pull string poppers.
Yeah, like you ain't got no cherry bombs, no zigzaggers, no.
I have to tell you this little story. Like 2 years ago, we had these. I came back and I got some fireworks from when I was in Tennessee. I picked some up and I came home, and there was just we're lighting all kinds. They're all cool, and then there was this little tiny cute one, man, looked like a little pyramid. And so you light it, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, try that. The little kids will love that one." So I light it. All of a sudden it goes woo, like a flower, and we're like, "Oh, it's cool," woo, and it starts getting faster. Woo, and all of a sudden you hear this, and wow, it just takes off like straight up in the air.
Wow.
Boom, and it goes over the freaking on top of the house, and you can see it. We were like, "Holy crap!" So we had to climb up on the house and get it off because that sucker was still smoldering. Still could have set the fire. If that would have been in the field, it would have been over. I would have started San Diego County Fire. Trust me. So
Yeah, you already had that going.
learned my lesson. Yeah, 2 or 3 times on that there. But anyways, so Daniel, what's cracking lacking? What's this going about?
Well, I want to talk about a few things. One, did you guys see James Lee's little post that he did on the Black & Decker glue gun? Everybody's going crazy over the glue gun. Anybody see that post?
I have not. No.
Actually, he did a really good job on kind of dissecting the Black & Decker glue gun. And one of the things he found out is the glue temperature of that gun is only 325 degrees. Or the 325, that seems like a lot. Yeah, I think that's what he said. And that's a very low glue temp or temperature for hot glue. And the optimum glue temperature is about 185. Now I can't remember if it was 180. Yeah, it has to be 180.
So you're basically saying that the glue doesn't heat up hot enough in the Black &
When
Decker.
you pull the trigger of the Black & Decker, it's really hard to pull. You're pulling that thing, and it doesn't. The glue doesn't come out very good. If you're trying to do a big Kiko tab, forget it. You're going to be all day trying to. It'll cool down on you before you get all the glue on there, and so he kind of dissected that a little bit, which was great. And he talks about his new glue gun that he's coming out with, and that you'll be able to dial that temperature. But the other thing about the Black & Decker that's bad is you don't have any battery indicator. So you have no idea how much battery you have left. And I bought one of these glue guns because it was only $40, and I had some Black & Decker batteries already. So I figure I'll just buy the gun and try it out. And I went to my second job, and I had no power on my glue gun because I didn't know how much power I used the first time I used it. So that's the bad thing about that glue gun. It looks really nice, but when you start adding up the charger and the batteries and extra batteries that you have to have because there's no charger indicator light, you're going to be up to what the Stucky glue gun's going to be. And in my opinion, stick with the Stucky. The Stucky right now is the best glue gun on the market. You can do the big Kiko tabs. You have the indicator. You can pull the battery out and charge your cell phone with it. The thing lasts like forever and has kryptonite in that battery. I don't know what he does, but that thing lasts forever. And so that's my 2 cents on that whole thing. Have you guys, anybody's bought that Black & Decker yet, or no?
The Black & Decker Pecker Wrecker.
You know what? Yeah. I did buy it, Daniel, and I actually ordered it from Walmart, and it came here, and I realized it didn't have a battery. So I thought it was a pretty good deal, and there was nothing to lose there, and it didn't have a battery. But after hearing, you guys go back and forth on it and some of the stuff that you're telling me there, and I think somebody else was talking, maybe it was James Lee that I read part of a post about that. And yeah, if that's what it is, I'll probably just end up taking it back.
Yeah, I would.
Well, I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not even thinking about it because I'm happy with the Carl Stuckey gun. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
happy
see
with
James-
my old
I
glue
see
gun.
James's- yeah. Well, I know you are. It looked like it is.
Yeah,
I see
buddy.
James's new one. I did see James's new one over at Ultra, but I didn't get a chance to use it yet. But I heard that's still not the latest one, his final updated one. So
My temperature board went out like yours, Daniel, on my Carl Stuckey, so I'm waiting for the replacement part to come.
Oh, did it? Yeah. Yeah. That's 2 seconds to switch that out.
Yeah.
What's going on with that, but seems
yeah, he says it's going to work faster and get hotter quicker. So I think twice as fast. So that's good.
Well, see, I'd rather support the little man rather than Black & Decker. Carl Stuckey obviously has time and energy put into an awesome glue gun, and you're able to control the temperature and all that stuff based on the glue that you're using. And it's Carl Stuckey, so why not support a little man? It's like why I don't go to Starbucks. I go to the corner coffee shop.
Yeah.
We're small businesses. We should be supporting small businesses.
Because he's going to continue improving that thing based off of what we do and how we do things and adapt. And Black & Decker can care less.
Yes.
Yeah. They're just in it. They're not there for the PDR industry. The industry is, gosh dang, look how fast that thing's changing, man. I never thought I'd see a cordless glue gun, battery glue gun. I didn't think it was going to be. If they did, it was like 30 minutes. Nobody could come out with something that could create that much heat.
Yeah.
For that long. Now would be cool, James or Carl Stuckey, create a freaking cordless heat gun for us.
Yeah.
For guys, dent guys, or whatever.
Actually, I talked to him about that. It was it Carl Stuckey or James Lee, one of the two. Somebody's working on it.
Yeah.
But it uses up a lot of battery. But now you see those batteries on lawnmowers, and they got these huge friggin' batteries now to use on a lawnmower. And so
I got one for my yard blower. Or what's it called? Eco. It's called Eco.
Yeah, that's the one.
That sucker lasts a long time, man.
Yeah, and they're huge though, batteries.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like bricks.
They need to use that type of battery for a heat gun. That'd be killer.
It would.
You know what else I want? I want something simple. And I want somebody to put a suction cup on the bottom of a spray bottle.
Okay.
Dude, just throw a magnet in the bottom. Throw a magnet in the bottom, and it'll stick to the.
No, I don't want a magnet.
Spray bottle with suction cup. Why the suction cup? Why?
So I can stick it on the car and just anywhere it won't slide off the car. Right now I put it on the car and it'll slide off the car. And
I think people everyone's still listening to me. I want a suction cup, little tray, so I can put on the car, no matter where I'm
actually, I found one for you. We'll talk after this.
Okay. All right.
Well, now you're getting into what Dave Streen gave you, Mike. That's almost like a suction cup. That you have that tray.
I can send it to you guys. I can send it to you. It's but it's definitely straight for tabs.
It is okay.
Straight for tabs. It's pretty cool. It's a tab caddy. So yeah,
the tab caddy. Yeah, he put out a video recently with 2 young little ladies talking about it.
Those videos are so funny, dude. Did you see the last one? And then at the very end, he's got what's his little can of fresh balls.
Fresh balls, yes.
Fresh balls at the end, and he goes, "All right, now, ladies, for a demo."
I haven't seen that video. I've been so out of touch on that stuff, man.
Dude,
couple really nice looking girls.
Do you remember back in the day on Saturday Night Live when Fred Armisen did a skit on Sofa King? He was the king of sofas and he was the sofa king, and he sold Sofa Kings, couches to people, and that was the name of the store, Sofa King, and they are so fucking awesome.
So
it reminds me of that. Just it's a bad commercial, but it's done bad intentionally, and it's funny. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And we get to see good-looking girls, so
is this
even a
episode
plus.
turning into I wish it would, or I wish they would create something?
Yeah, I wish they would. Yes, that's the name of the
Tool,
episode.
hey John, what tool you want to see come out, man?
Hold on, one more thing.
Yeah.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a big, huge battery buffer. That's what I want.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't
Hey, John.
Yeah, buddy.
Someone would make that.
big huge battery buffer, John?
Yeah, I actually just picked up. If you guys are part of the PDR Tool Time Join the Revolution Facebook group, I posted a couple pictures of this new Milwaukee buffer, and it does come with a couple 18-volt batteries. It comes with 3 pads, one of which is obviously a cutting pad. It's got a foam or one of the old school wool pads, and then it's also got a polishing pad, like a fine-tuned polishing pad. And I've been using this thing, man. It is legit. And, of course, I love my little tiny buffer, but I can see myself picking this up more often because sometimes that buffer takes forever. That little tiny buffer takes forever to polish a spot, or to get, if you're wet sanding on it, the wet sand marks out of it. But this full-size Milwaukee buffer is straight up. Now, just heads up, I'm gonna put a clause out here, and I want to throw something out here. Let everybody go buy it. If you're a professional detailer, you're gonna need something that plugs into the wall. But for a PDR tech who's using it 5 or 6 times a day to do quick little, whether you're doing buff spots or you're polishing where you worked, I think it'll work just fine. I haven't put the batteries through the mills yet. But hey man, I'm on a 5-day vacation. I've taken 5 days off, so this next week I think I'll really be putting the test to it, and then I'll report back with what my findings are on it.
So far so good. You like it?
Yeah, it works just like a I don't think it goes. It says 2,000 RPM, but I don't think it goes as fast as like a plug-in DeWalt one. But it goes fast enough to really polish the panel quickly.
Now, is it variable? So as you're pulling that trigger, it'll speed up and slow down, or is it just off and on? Okay.
No, it's variable. So yeah, you can go real slow. And I have been using Mike's technique on the buffing splatter, and it works like a champ. So I go real slow to work that polish in, and get it nice and worked in until there's a thin layer there. And then I slowly start speeding it up, and I've been getting way less splatter than what I've dealt with.
Yeah, my Bentley guys, they really appreciate that. So
yeah, cleaning little buffing splatter spots. Hey, you guys were talking about a commercial here, and I want to give you an example here of where bad advertisement actually is good for you. You guys were talking about a commercial Vinny was, right? Tell me if you guys remember this, okay? I'm going to make sure you guys can hear it here. Here it goes. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Dinettes. Oh yeah, you can find them at the market. We talking about flea market. Montgomery, it's just like a mini mall. Oh yeah, come shop with us. I said flea market. Montgomery, it's just like a mini mall. Hey, you heard me. Come shop.
So if you guys haven't heard that, that's an example of something that's went worldwide. 10 million views. 10,130,230 YouTube views. It's called just Flea Market Montgomery, just like a mini mall. And the guy looks like he's on crack and he's bugging out during the whole song. His eyes are giant on some of them, and it looks like they're about ready to pop out of his head. It's hilarious. So
That's funny. That's good.
all right, everybody. So after hearing that sweet, sweet message, I thought I'd go ahead and bring you mine. We do now have the Tactical Elite blending hammer and leveraging device in stock. Head on over to tacticalpdr.com today and get yours. We are shipping within 24 to 48 hours. Now back to the show.
I got something in the mail today, and I heard you guys got it. So James Lee, new and improved spinal cord. So have you guys all have gotten one of these?
No, I don't get anything.
well, we need to take care.
I have.
Stepchild.
Yeah, I get everything.
I get
Sorry.
nothing. I get hand-me-downs.
Give me all Vince's stuff. He only deserves a Craftsman hammer.
Yes.
Vince Stop saying you don't buy anything.
Yeah.
No, we get.
So-
I talked to James. He should send you something, dude. So,
Yeah.
So what's
So-
up? What's up with that spinal cord?
Well, first of all, he took off. It used to have nuts and bolts on both sides. Now it only has one. So it really does look like a spinal cord now. And there's a gap. So before you tighten that thing all the way down and bottom out, and honestly, it just didn't work as good. And he has made a lot of improvements, and this thing looks phenomenal now. It looks a lot better. And I haven't tried it out yet. I have it in my hands right now, and I can feel how much stiffer it is than the other one. And I haven't even tightened it down yet.
Are you going to have to
I
have
just
a
got
sleeve
this
on it? Are you going to have the sleeve on it or no? Protective sleeve?
Probably not.
I hardly
You had the
protective
spines
sleeve.
on one side. So you technically, if you had it set right, but I don't know. I have to report back to you on that one. I kind of like the sleeve though now that I have it on one of my lights, and there's a couple I don't have it on, and I like grabbing it with that little neoprene. It feels good when you grab it and stuff. I don't know. So he's got this out. Go ahead.
Oh, I want to let everybody know out there, anybody who hasn't seen the spinal cord, just to get a visual of this, your traditional lock line that you have on your board is very flimsy. I mean, you can move it back and forth. A lot of times people would put a hose in it or something to actually keep the thing steady. Well, James Lee from Elimidence has came out with this thing called the spinal cord that tightens down each one of them little links on the lock line, or on the spinal cord it is now, and keeps your board from moving. You can actually adjust the tension with these little bitty bolts that are inside the plastic. Now, just a heads up as well, Carl Stuckey also came up with something that are these little rings that you can attach to an existing lock line. So depending on what you want to do and how much work you got, you can either go with the spinal cord, or you can go with Stuckey's attachments that actually lock down your current lock line. But go ahead, Daniel. Sorry.
No, that was great. Good job on describing it for our listeners. Both of them, by the way, I have both of them, and they both work good. If you got an old light and you don't want to buy a whole new, light, go with the Stuckey. But if you're getting something new, make sure you get the new spinal cord. And he also sent me a Medusa, which he had at MTE this year. And I'm excited to try that thing out. And basically what it does is it takes your portable light and has an adapter that slides onto any light fixture, or light stand, any light stand. And you can put multiple lights onto one stand. So you could cross-check the heck out of a car with that.
So, I'm still confused about that because I got them in the mail as well, Daniel. And when you say you can hook them up to your existing light stand, are you saying that there's a way to connect them to your actual full-size light and run it off of a DeWalt battery? Is that the deal on that?
Yeah, basically you could...
There's an adapter that comes with it, John, that connects to the Medusa a plug-in, our part, and then that connects to your 12-volt connector of your shop light. So
nice.
And then you just slide your battery into that adapter. So
nice.
And it comes with a cord as well, so you can run it off of a cigarette lighter battery, or you can run your DeWalt or your Makita battery or whatever battery you use for your portable light. I think he has them in all versions.
Now, are these for sale yet, or are you just
they are for sale.
Okay,
Yeah.
They are for sale. That's good. Okay, so you'll have to report once you figure out how to set up that Medusa light. Maybe post some pictures for us to see how that thing connects.
So I did put it on my light already, and I still had my regular light on, and then I slid that one on first and then put my regular light on, and it gave me a 90-degree cross check, which was kind of cool. So if you're working if you're a door dinger like me working on a door, you could have one vertical, one horizontal at the same time, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
But I'll report back more once I put it through its paces and stuff. So that'll be good.
I hope you get your internet fixed real quick, dude.
Am I cutting out?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what, guys. Although I have not, technically, I've been off for 5 days. I've actually been working early in the morning till late in the day, and I finally got all of my pre-orders sent out. Every single order that I have is up to date as of today. And for the first time since I've launched this tool, guys, the tactical tool, I am going to be able to offer that I have them in stock.
Fantastic.
That is, let me tell you. I mean, let me tell you something. The whole back of my shop has been turned into this little assembly station, and it has been like a serious job. You know, when I first started making these handles, it took like an hour to make one of them.
Oh yeah.
And finally, I got it down to a system where I can do 10 of them at a time, and
in 10 hours.
Dude, yeah, it doesn't take that long now, but you know the custom details, Mike. You know the handle grip that you showed us how to put on there, and you know that I added that to all of my handles on the tools. Well, that is actually a lengthy procedure when you're doing 100 of them or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, but it's definitely well worth it. The type of grip that you have in there. So. But tell them a little bit about that, Mike, because I know that you're getting ready to come out with a paddle. I don't know if you're going to be selling them, but I know you got one coming my way. And tell them about that grip system that we got on the tactical and the one that you actually found out there. I think the audience would love to hear about that.
Yeah, well, it's no secret. And so, people, if you want to put a grip on anything, what you do is you can get that. That's called X-Flock. It's from I think we talked about this earlier, but you can get it from like a fishing company store, or you can get it online. X-Flock's probably be the best way to do it if you want to, put grips all over your handles. But then you want to get some really not soft rope, like where you can squeeze it, not paracord, because that doesn't seem like it works very well. But maybe some real thick, hard cord or leather cord, and just wrap it 3 or 4 times, get it around your hand a little bit. And then make sure you line it up with your fingers the way you want it. And I hot glue mine so I can work it before I do the final placement. I wrap it around the handle, and it's on Dent Trainer too. We did a little video tutorial on that. And then I slide the the X-Flock over it. And you want to make sure you have to get the right diameter, though. They come in different diameters. And heat shrink it, and it freaking is the best grip ever. I mean,
yeah.
I tell you what, Steve from Ultra is super excited about it. What are you doing? It's all here. You going to the
right.
You know what? In the future, we might have to do one of these videos here for everybody.
Well, no,
I'm recording it to see what it looks like.
Well, Mike, in the future, what we need to do is we need to offer this as like a webinar where our guests can actually get on and be part of the conversation without downloading any special apps. They'll just be able to follow a link. And we'll definitely, I think the webinar software that we currently use and have for Dent Trainer would be really freaking cool to actually have an audience Q&A type deal.
Well, here's the deal, guys. If you on this program, if you go to the upper right-hand corner, you'll see gallery view. Click that, and all 4 of us come up. That's why I was showing the screen with you. But anyways, so now you have all 4. You could add up to 50 participants on the screen and
Nice.
50 people at one time.
Don't be giving away all of our secret ninja stuff.
Yes.
but anyways, guys, yeah, get that X-Flock. You guys will love it. And going back to the paddles, we're still working on I'm sending you guys obviously the latest handles, but still not the last bit of them. So we got more coming. But anyways, that's how I do it. It's super comfortable, and I think everybody would like that if they want some kind of grip on one of their tools or whatnot. So pretty good.
Does that come in a roll?
It does. It comes in like have you ordered it, John? Because I haven't ordered that. Like I have a long strip that's came into it, but I'm not sure if it's a roll.
Yeah, Mike, I did that, but for me, it wasn't tacky enough. I do like it. I do like the X-Flock, but I found this stuff that's a 2-ply heat shrink rubber, And I found the manufacturer of it, and I've actually got a bag the size of a garbage bag full of it for these hammers. And as you guys know, you guys all have them on all of your handles. So it's a little bit different than that X pattern stuff, but it's a little bit tackier. And for me personally, I like it better because I can wrap it on the ends of my extensions, and it makes for a real thick connection point for the extensions on this to where they don't rattle loose or shake loose. You know what I mean? On the tactical hammer.
Yep.
Yeah, so it kind of does a couple things for me just using the 2-ply. And it's strong, dude. I mean, you guys, I've had to cut one of these off because I accidentally put like one on the wrong end, you know? So I go to wrap one up and I got it on the end that's got the thread sticking out of it. It wasn't the end that I wanted it on, so I've actually had to cut it off. And I mean, it was like fighting a bear. I mean, it was full on freaking war, you know, to do that. So, but yeah, that's a good tip there. We should have saved that for a tech tip, huh?
Yeah.
Well, there's
There's a tech tip.
There's your tech tip.
John,
Yes, sir.
Can you talk about the thing you were showing us earlier?
Yeah, I think I can. I'll go ahead and reveal that a little bit because we've showed a little bit about what happens here. What I've got here is a tactical hood prop that I'm coming out with here real soon, and it'll probably be a month or so before this thing gets released. But it actually has an insert on the end of it that you can thread in the tactical elite hammerhead to it, and then you can put the ball back on top and strap your hood down and use it as a leverage point. That's the first thing. The second thing that I'm still in a process, the reason why I haven't released it yet, is that I'm actually setting it up to where it's a door jammer as well. And I'm trying to figure out how to make it as a door jammer, but also be able to connect to a deck lid. A couple different things, because there's a lot of times when, I guess some of you guys out there would understand. Other folks might say, well, why would you need a door jammer that wide? Well, a lot of times when you take the interior panel off, you kind of struggle to, if you use a little door jammer, you can't even get your hands up in there, let alone get a tool up in there to pry with. So when you take the interior panel off, I'm constantly strapping down the door with a hood prop. Well, I thought, you know what? Hey, if I'm already putting threads on the inside of this hood prop, I might as well thread one up to also convert into a door jamming system. So that way we get a rock solid door jam on top of a sweet hood prop. So that's, you guys see it right here, right now, the prototype. And that's something that's going to come out in the future, along with an accessory kit, and something that I'm currently building now is a library for everybody who has bought this tool. All you guys, I'm so thankful for everybody who jumped on board and bought this tool and believed in me, and that kind of stuff. And all your shipments, most of them should be coming in today, actually. However, I'm going to continuously add things to it, including an entire tutorial section for everybody who's bought it to teach you guys about the builds. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of you guys. Derek Reed came to me the other day, and he didn't know I sent out a couple set screws with the first batch of, or thumb screws with the first batch of tactical elite tools, and he didn't know what the thumb screws were for. So I realized that even great techs like Derek Reed, didn't know what that was for. So I need to have some sort of knowledge database out there where people can tap into to understand the different builds that I've done with the tool. And
kind of like in Daniel Grom's MPDR vice stand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things to do is convey all that information.
Right. And quickly, before I forget to convey it, the set screw is designed to go on the inside of the panel. And if you find like a giant hole in a door per se, there's always little tiny holes around it. Well, you can put the thumb screw in there and actually bolt down the tactical to the panel and use it as a leverage point. And that little metal thumb screw has been phenomenal as far as attaching that thing and locking it down. And you don't even have to tighten it all the way. You can leave it somewhat loose, because that gives your tool the ability to have a rock solid push, but it still has the loose flexibility to get in there and do your prying and pushing when you're inside a door panel or a deck lid, or anywhere where you need that extra bit of leverage.
Well, whenever you're building a tool, you should always try it out on Mike, because Mike has a hard time figuring things out on his own.
I do. Yeah, I need a video instruction on everything.
He's asleep.
What are you talking about, dude? Sometimes it takes me an hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes, dude.
No, in all seriously, I'm gonna tell you something about Mike, which you guys, because I've been working with Mike for a long time. Here's Mike. Okay, Mike he actually takes his time on everything and studies it, but all of a sudden he'll be probably behind about a week because he's taking his time and he's studying every single intricate detail. But by the time he gets 2 weeks, he'll be 10 times further ahead of you because he'll master every single freaking aspect at it and know how to do it better than anybody else. I've seen him do it on everything that we got into. So we get into Periscope, okay? So we get into Periscope. We're taking Periscopes. Next thing you know, Mike's taking a couple Periscopes and, it's going good, but he's like, you know what? He figures it out. And within 2 to 3 weeks, next thing you know, he's getting 400, 500 people on his Periscope at one time. And the same thing for Instagram, same thing for anything that Mike does. He learns it to the max, but he takes time on the little details, the things that us peons overlook.
Yes, he starts off on the short bus, but graduates to a coach quickly. We lost Daniel.
Lost Daniel. I knew we would.
Oh, he's on dial-up, so it's like AO. Yeah, he's on America or AO. He's still got an AOL email address.
Yeah.
I always preach PDRs like mixed martial arts. You have to know how to be a black belt in all categories. At Dent Trainer, you can improve your skills no matter what skill level you are as a PDR technician. We have all the latest video tutorials that are described in extreme detail with diagrams and clear explanations. Let's say you're a route tech and you want to branch out into the hail. First thing you'll want to know is how to write a proper estimate. Or perhaps you're curious about the line board and want to become better at reading that particular reflection. Or maybe what's up with the new cold glue? We have it at Dent Trainer. Check it out. Memberships start as low as $59 per month. And right now, you can sign up for 6 months for only $179. Become a Dent Trainer member. You'll be glad you did.
Yeah. So what else is going on, Vinny? What you been doing, man?
You know what? I blew out my knee this weekend at the beach for 4th of July. Yeah, I was down at the beach Sunday with the kids, and we were playing wiffle ball on the beach. And, I still think I could move like a 20-year-old, and I can't, dude. I went for a pop fly, hit off a wiffle ball, and I caught it, and I sat down. I'm like, oh, no, something doesn't feel right.
Just small things, dude.
It's the sideways movement, man. We don't have that sideways movement as we get older. So,
well, I played basketball, a little bit of football, ran track. Mainly my main sport was basketball. And, I get on the court and I know that this young 22-year-old is going to make it. I know exactly what he's going to do. I know he's going to go left. And what does he do? He goes left. But what can I do? I can just watch him for 1 second, full second, dude. 1 second, dude. And that's like eternity, okay? 1 second's like layup. Okay, I'll just lay it up on you. Yeah. So, yeah. And then next thing you know, you're limping the next day.
Yeah, well, I might need surgery on this one. So
no way.
Yeah, I'm serious. It's pretty bad. It's my MCL or my kneecap. I got to go get an MRI done and find out how bad I tore it.
Jeez, you're breaking up, Dan. You just I meant you're breaking up as in body-wise. Dude.
I am. I'm breaking down.
Yeah.
Daniel, you okay there? You're back on. You're breathing heavy.
Hey, Vinny, must have took him like he was going after the keyboard like this. Hey, Vinny, did you just say you blew your knee out, man?
I blew my knee
out. I had to take a
Sunday.
leak. I'm sorry. Yeah, I went out to the booger wall restroom and took a leak in it. But you blew your freaking knee. I blew my knee out about 3 months ago.
Yeah, I know. Yours swelled up like a balloon. Mine's not so bad, but it's popping and snapping all over the place. So, I've been icing it for 2 days now and wearing a brace. And believe it or not, I've been walking around with a cane.
Shut up, dude. It's that bad, huh?
It's that bad, yeah.
I was on crutches, man, whenever it happened to me. I was actually doing, believe it or not, I was doing stomp kicks. I do martial arts, and I was doing stomp kicks. I was testing for what they call elemental testing in the martial art, which is basically your form and all this stuff. and we're training with this 5th degree black belt, and he's going, let's do 5 more. And I'm like, okay, giving the kick. I ended up doing a stomp kick, and my base leg, the kneecap, slid all the way to the side of my leg, and my base leg crumbled me. And I hit the ground, and I grabbed my kneecap, and it's on the side of my leg. And I had to yank it, and Shane, the other guy, he's the head, he's like a 6th degree black belt or something. He comes over, he goes, call the ambulance. Just to hear me go, no! And I grabbed my kneecap and slid it back in place. And which I found out later from an acupuncture guy, that was one of the best things that I could have done, because where the real injury sets in is if you actually leave it setting out of place. The best time to set your bone or something like that is right when it happens.
Yeah.
And it was brutal, and they got me up and walked me there. And I don't know how your guys' health insurance is, but I'm on a $14,000 deductible. So that's
same way.
Yeah, that scream was like, no, not $5,000.
The ambulance.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So
Yeah.
I've actually been researching stem cell injections, and they actually take stem cells out of your bone marrow and process it, and then they inject it back into you, and it's supposed to be amazing, where you could have just the worst knees, and all of a sudden you'll be 100% again.
Yeah.
wow. Hey, guys, I'll tell you something real quick. I told some girl that story inside Panera, the one that I just told you guys, and she totally had a medical condition arise as I was telling her. Now, I thought it was cool because she was a 2nd degree black belt, and she trained at the same martial arts studio. So I told her that same story, and she just got this glazed over look in her eyes, like she was looking past me, and she goes, oh my God, I got to sit down. And she started stumbling backwards and stumbled and ran into a wall. And I had to call her manager over, and her manager grabbed her and took her to the back room and sat her down. I was like, oh my God, look what I did. And I thought because she was a 2nd degree black belt that she could take that story.
Well, dude, you're very descriptive with your story.
Look, I had the head honcho, Stephen Hayes. Any of you martial art guys out there know Stephen Hayes is the lead, like, grand master. He was in Black Belt magazine when I was a kid. And I actually had him squirming in here in my shop when I was telling him the story.
Hey, you veteran PDR techs, thinking about getting into motorcycle PDR? Or perhaps you already are, but you don't have that professional stand? Well, the new Daniel Grom MPDR Vice 2.0 offers the ultimate gas tank setups with better leverage, stability, and access when it comes to those challenging dents. Order your MPDR Vice Stand 2.0 at motopdr.com.
All right, guys, so you think we're on to the point where we're going to go ahead and do our quick tips?
Yep.
All right, so we'll go ahead and jump into our quick tips now. Do we have any volunteers?
Daniel, come on, pull out the list.
You're the quick tip man. We're running out, man.
Well, I would like to know if any of you guys do this. So today I was working on a quarter panel of Highland. Well, I'm writing an angry letter to the engineer that designed the taillight on a Highlander.
I have one. They're horrible. I have a 2012. It sucks.
Jeez, it took me 45 minutes to take out the taillight for 2 freaking screws. Drove me crazy. So I'm working on that, and it was right there in the corner of the quarter panel where the taillight is. And I got it looking really good, but when I cross-checked it facing the other way, there was a bunch of lows, but you couldn't see it from the angle you were actually working on it, and you can only work on it from one angle. So I grab an eraser marker and flip the light over, cross-check it, and I circle all my lows. And then I turn the light around and work on it from the angle that I'm working on it. And I just go off of memory and work those lows. Any of you guys ever do that?
Normally, no. I never do this. That's a pretty good idea, though, man. On the ones that you can't see from that angle, that's a great idea. No, I've never done that.
I usually use spit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've done that. A little spit mark.
Yeah, I leave lick my finger and just leave a line. Okay, there's a low spot, and that's set the light up the opposite way.
Right? Yeah.
I'll tell you what I try to do is and I talked about this in one of our quick tips. I try to get myself in kind of an awkward position when I start out the dent if I know that I can only check it from one direction. So I try to get myself in the most awkward position first, and then do my cross-checking from the more relaxed angle, or finishing the last 10% of the dent from the more relaxed, easy angle. So I kind of call that working the hard angle first, and then going towards that. And since I've been doing that, I haven't had to fight lows that are still there from that original angle. So it takes a little while to get used to, because sometimes when you work the front end of a door, you got to come with that weird angle where you're coming in from the fender side, and you're trying to work it up from that angle. So when you get 90% of it up, you can cross-check it from the easy angle where you step back and you got a lot more room, you got a lot more headroom, and essentially more room to move your tool back and forth to get eye level with it.
Yeah, good. That's a good way of doing that, Daniel.
Yeah, real cool. All right, well, I guess I'll jump in with my quick tip then, since we're talking about dents. And what I was thinking about here was, it's a quick tip, but it's more about a little bit of an explanation about why aluminum does what it does. And I'm going to be having some dent trainer tutorials coming out specifically about aluminum. And what I want you guys to understand is that if you're just trying to, number one, you got to understand it before you can fix it quickly and fluently. And one of the things about aluminum that you got to realize is that it work hardens probably 50 times faster, or maybe 10 times faster, I don't know, than steel. And essentially what that means is, if you take a little thin gauge of aluminum, let's say 16 gauge aluminum, a little thin piece of 16 gauge steel, and you bend it in the middle and you bend it back and forth, the aluminum is going to snap after 2 or 3 bends, and the steel, you're going to have to bend it 20 or 30 times before it eventually work hardens enough where it snaps, okay? So now here's what I want you to imagine. When a dent gets hit in aluminum, okay? Here's the thing, the bottom of the dent is work hardened, so that area is stronger than the adjacent panel. That's where people have the problem with aluminum. You think that you got to push on aluminum. That's because the bottom of the dent pulls up the perimeter. If you sit back, sometimes I want you to look at this. If you're ever working with somebody that's working on aluminum, stand back about 15 feet and watch the whole freaking panel raise with them dent pushes. I mean, the aluminum raises probably with a 10-inch perimeter around a decent size aluminum dent. That's why it's hard. You got to raise it up and then peak the push. So what I want to tell you guys here is that heat at about 130 to 140 degrees, you can't get aluminum as hot as steel. It releases the heat too fast. But about 130, 140 degrees, it will begin to peak that aluminum. You'll actually step back and look at that dent, and that heat will bow that whole panel up to where the dent almost disappears. So take that opportunity while the whole panel is extended upwards. Okay, so it takes the flexibility out of it, extends it all the way upwards, and push that, get your big pushes down, and then cool it down, and you'll see a bunch of little lows that you'll probably have to go in there and pick out. So that's a little quick tip on aluminum.
I was told the same thing, but I was told the optimum temperature was 180 degrees.
Well, see, aluminum's harder to get that hot, though. I mean, you'll actually see aluminum bow at about 100 degrees, believe it or not.
Is that right?
Yeah, at 100 degrees concentrate, you'll see aluminum start to bow. So at about 120, I say just wherever it takes it to peak it, because aluminum will get to the level where it'll bow tie and it'll peak to a certain height. And that's all you're looking for, really, is the heat, number one, to concentrate that area so it's a little bit softer. But number two, to peak to a certain height so it takes that flexibility out of your pushes.
130 degrees doesn't seem that hot.
Yeah, what we did was we ran, if you go on, all you Dent Trainer members, go to the science section of the quick tips, and we actually did the melting point on the different paints, and we did it on aluminum as well. And I'm telling you, aluminum was really hard to get hot. I mean, you could get it up into the 200s, and it would start pushing the heat out as quick as it came in. And then you would go to steel, and you'd actually get steel up into the 400 degree range. Same thing with plastic bumpers. You could only get them up to a certain temperature before they started pushing the heat out about as fast as it was going in, per se. Steel was the only thing that really retained the heat for a lengthy amount of time. But what I use is an infrared thermometer that you can buy up at Harbor Freight. And actually, I've done the studies where, and we've got it on video on Dent Trainer, so all you Dent Trainer members, all you lucky Dent Trainer members, can jump on over there and take a look at it. But I've actually did it to where you can watch the heat gauge, and you can actually see at what level it peaks and at what temperature and stuff like that. Aluminum's it's not about like heat, because you think about 120 degrees, that might be on a hot day out on a hood, but aluminum's all about concentrated heat versus the adjacent area. So if that panel comes in and it's at 80 degrees, you get it up to 100 in one spot, that spot's going to bow. It's gonna rise away from the adjacent panel that's cooler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I put one of those infrared thermometers on a black car outside, and gotten as high as 200.
Well, let me ask you something. Have you guys noticed that when you're glue pulling on aluminum and you're doing it with a slide hammer, how hard you can pull on that thing? I mean, it's like the glue never wants to give. I mean, you're bang, bang, bang. That's because the whole panel is rising with your pulls. If you step back and look at it, it's pulling an area probably 10 inches around that dented spot. Like the whole area is going up. Like imagine a trampoline just bowing up, and your dents in the middle from your pulls. That's why what I found is with the right technique and a mini lifter, that the feet will push down the perimeter and isolate your pulls on aluminum. And if you learn how to use that mini lifter on aluminum, it'll take a lot of strain off the old shoulder when you're pulling for the moon, with a slide hammer on aluminum.
Would you say mini lifter is better to use on aluminum?
Yes. Yeah. In my opinion, unless you have some big boys on there that are really nasty and you really got to shock the center of them, then I will strap on a slide hammer for sure. But for normal hail dents and that kind of stuff, I mean, you can flip aluminum rather quick because it pins down the perimeter. It kind of does what, a slide hammer, the whole area is going to pull up. You're going to have to hit it real hard. And then the mini lifter's feet pins down the surrounding of the dent and isolates your pull.
I see what you're saying, John, because I had a gas tank not too long ago. It was from Kenny Roberts' custom Yamaha gas tank from his race team. It's a $50,000 gas tank at the time when it was made. And it holds probably about 7 gallons of gas, but it weighed less than a pound. It was amazing. The construction into it was awesome. Had a huge dent in the side of it. I heated that sucker up with a heat gun, and I could still not move it with a big Johnson in there, just trying to get this aluminum to move. It didn't move at all. So I ended up, I'm like, well, this is my last chance. I put my IR light on it from when we bake paint jobs. Yeah. And I stuck it on there, and I left it on there for 10 minutes and came back, and the vinyl stickers were ready to melt off of it. It was so hot. But I went in there with the tool, and that came out like butter. Instantly, the dent came right out with no problem at all. And, aluminum, I think if we could get it as hot as we can without damaging the paint, it's going to make a big difference. That's my observation.
I had a hard time damaging paint with aluminum. If you guys watched that tutorial on Dent Trainer, it was on one of them old school Cadillac hoods. And I had a hard time burning paint on aluminum because it was letting go of the heat as quick as it was coming in. Sure. And it discolored the paint. It made it like a brown color because it was a gold, but I had a real hard time doing that.
Yeah, it dissipates the heat almost instantly. And we know that just from making a baked potato in your oven. You take out the baked potato and the aluminum foil is still hot. But as soon as you unwrap it from the baked potato, you could touch that aluminum almost, seconds later, and no heat is there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. But
All
you can't touch the metal grate that's underneath of it seconds later.
Hell no.
Steel. Yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and close out this podcast here. This was more of a Seinfeld episode, and occasionally we're going to have these where we kind of just purge off the top of our head. And you know what it is? The show Seinfeld is basically a show about nothing. So today, you've heard our show that is a Seinfeld show that is essentially a show about nothing, but you get all kinds of knowledge because it is about something. And that's the way we roll here at PDR Tool Time. And Daniel Grom, can I hear it from you, my friend?
Level up your tools.
And don't forget to join the revolution. Go on over to PDR Tool Time and you'll see a link to our PDR Tool Time community, our exclusive Facebook group. It is called PDR Tool Time. Join the revolution. So we look forward to seeing you over there, and we'll see you on the next one.
It's right smack hail season now, and what better timing than to have a hail damage video explaining the short and engaging repair process. At Dent Trainer, we just released a new video about the steps a consumer needs to do after the vehicle has been hit with hail. It's called It Hailed, What's Next? A professional video with your company logo and information. For more details and cost, please visit denttrainer.com/store.